Hey, welcome everybody to A Kiss for Luck. I'm Steve.
I'm Charisse.
And with us today, our third side of the triangle, as always, Mike Crutchfield. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself? How's everybody doing?
Doing
Good.
really well. We got Breeders' Cup weekend, and we have a special show today and a special guest in our fourth box. We have Pete Parrella, owner of Legacy Ranch, owner, breeder. How are you, Pete?
I'm good. I'm good, Steve. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Very, very nice of you.
Oh, of course. I'm glad to have you on. And we're gonna once we get around the horn here and get back to you, we're gonna talk about some of your horses and your breeding operation and stuff like that. Let's start off with some handicapping with Mike Crutchfield, though. Mike, what do you got for us?
Okay, so I'm going to give you a late pick five at Del Mar. And again, it's a $108 play. And again, hopefully we can get over this 4 for 5 or whatever we've been on for a couple months now. So in the fifth race it starts, and I'm going to use three horses, okay? And I'm going to use the number four, Corporal Violet. Just is going to sit a good trip. And number six is going to be my horse that my top preference. I believe the horse is 8-1 on the line,
Yeah.
and the horse is 11 for 14. And they got Mikey Smith to ride, so that's the number six. And then I'm going to use the number eight, Delightful Laura. So those three, if you use those three, you should get out of that leg. No problem. I don't. One of those three will win the race. So let's go to the sixth race. I'm going to use three horses, and I'm going to use the number three, Amelia's Echo,
hmm
and number seven, By the Moonlight, who is a first-time starter, has worked well. And then a horse that I'm going to use as my first preference is number five, West Fresno. The horse has worked well, and I just think that horse is getting better as they go. I believe the horse has had one or two starts, and I think this is going to be the day to get the diploma for number five, West Fresno.
Okay, 357. Next race, sir.
Yeah, so we'll go to the seventh race, and I'm going to use three horses. And what I'm going to do is my top preference is going to be Flavian Pratt on Friendly Confines, and so we're going to use him, and we're going to use the number seven, um, and Masalero. We're going to use him, and if I were anybody betting this race, I'm going to use a really big exacta box here. I'm going to go like a $20 exacta box, 6-7. And I think the four is an all right horse, and Jonathan Thomas does really good with his maidens at Del Mar. But we're going to use 4, 6, 7, but my top preference is the number six, and I'm going to box 6, 7 very, very heavy in that race.
Okay, sounds great. Next race.
Okay, so the next race is the eighth race. It's a maiden special weight race. And Phil D'Amato, I've been watching him for about a year or so, and his first time starters. And he does a little funny thing with his first time starters that I really like. And I'm not going to get into too much detail right now, but the number four, Rocky Calvito, I'm going to use
Polivito.
him. Yeah, yeah, it's Colavito,
Yeah,
and
old
I'm going to
baseball
use the
player.
nine. Yeah, right. And I'm going to use the nine, Mystic Moses, and that horse has run at Del Mar twice, and it's been in the money twice. So I'm just going to use those two horses. The nine is 5-1, and when I use two horses like this in a large field, I just bet them both to win. I'll put a 20 spot on both of them and go from there and box them up and in an exacta and just go from there. I think one of these two horses has a really good chance of winning that race. Okay, so in the ninth race, again, I like a 8-1 shot to come running at him, and again, the horse is number 10. Resolve is my top selection at 8-1. Really like the horse. Likes the way I like the way this horse closes in the last quarter of a mile, and he loves Del Mar. So I'm going to make that my top preference, and I'm also going to use the number five and the number seven and the number four. So I'm going to use 10, 5, 7, 4 just to cover myself. And again, it's a $108 play. I think we can cash this today.
Nice. Okay. Well, there are a lot of prices there, so it's definitely going to have a comma in it when you get home. So I'm going to say
Yes.
when you get home, Mike. I'm not going to say if you get home. Let's get it home.
Yeah, let's get it for
You've
real.
been,
Yes, sir.
you've been getting beat real bad lately on those 4 out of 5s on the pick five. So
It's just
let's get off the
unbelievable.
schneid. Uh,
Unbelievable. Yes, sir.
yeah, you had that one race. You had second, third, and fourth place horses to close it out, and that one horse snuck up the rail, and it's like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
You're-
And the one a month and a half ago, I was alive to up to 30,000 on the picks had 5 horses and got beat by IRAD.
yeah,
So
can't leave Irad out, can you?
yeah, exactly.
Oh. All right. Well, Charisse, you're coming off a nice victory last week. You gave us a 12-1 shot, Grogu.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
So hopefully people listened and bet that horse. Well, somebody will
Well,
listen because it went off at 6-1, but
well,
still, nice hit.
funny thing, you know who else gave that horse out? He must listen to this show and follow my handicapping. Dave Weaver
Yeah.
on FanDuel. He
No.
goes, I love the 8 horse Grogu. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm going to charge him a fee for that, or else
Exactly.
that's plagiarism. So anyway,
Yes.
Yeah,
You're
there you go.
you're my agent, Mike. I would like the
yes,
lawsuit filed, please.
I'll go.
Yeah.
No, I'll go collect just face to face.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I called the race exactly the way that horse ran it. And
Yeah.
Diego, oh,
Hmm.
what an amazing rider. And Mr. Pete here has Diego today in riding his horse in the 6th, 7th,
Yeah, 8th race.
8th race.
Race.
I do like your horse. First time starter with Brian Corner training.
What?
But
I
anyway,
saw
okay.
those horses, Cherie. I saw those horses. One, and again, I looked at them. I looked at both of them, and one of them, and is that a Legacy Ranch horse?
That's Pete.
Yeah. Well, one of them is going from turf to dirt, and the other is a first time starter, I
Right.
believe. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. When we get around to Pete, he can explain everything about
Yes.
that. But give us a couple of picks there, Charisse. What do you got for us?
Well, okay, I got another price here starting the card today at Del Mar. And by the way, Mike, your pick 5 was for Del Mar, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Pick 5. Okay. Okay, good. Because I'm going early pick 5, morphing into the early pick 4, like I normally do. Let's hope
Hmm.
we got some luck here. All right, first race today. I'm starting with a $16 pick 5, which morphs into a $4 pick 4, Mike. Bet.
Got it.
Okay, first race. I'm gonna give you my top pick first. I don't see this horse going off at 8-1. The 7, Mighty Toro. I watched the replay on this race twice this morning. And JJ, look, he was coming on, and around the turn, he swung him so wide. I don't know if he did that on purpose or the horse lugged out. But this Mighty Toro, they put Rosario on him. JJ does not have a mount, but of course, since Joel is in town, why not? John Sadler, and I love Mighty Toro. That's my top pick. But I am going to use the 2, Lucky, the 3, Medici, who will no doubt be the favorite. And I do like Kid Charlemagne, Steely Dan, right, honey? Kid Charlemagne.
Yep, you got it.
Johnny V. I mean, what can you say about Johnny Velasquez? He is riding lights out.
Yeah.
In the second race, I've got 4 horses here too. I'm using the 1 Unbreakable Trust solely because it's a first time gelding. And I always remember what Brittany Urton says. That's her favorite go-to bet. So I'm going to use the 1. I'm going to use Mr. Parrella's horse, Western Freedom, because he is dropping Ayuso and Brian Corner trains. I do think this horse will win, could win very strongly and get claimed, unfortunately. But I'm going to use the 4, my Stay Thirsty Fly Zapper, for Chuck Treece. I think he can do this at Del Mar, and I'm going to use the 6, Far Western, with Ricardo Gonzalez. Now we go to the 3rd race. I originally singled the 3, Honey's Choice, with Rispoli, Bill D'Amato. But then I was listening to someone handicapping that race. They gave it out this morning, and I did look at this horse, Green Screen, the 8 horse on the outside with Kimura. I'm going to go too deep there. I'm going to use the 3 and the 8. In the 4th race, I'm going to single the 4, teeing off. Yes, Stay Thirsty, but this horse won a maiden 12-5 last time out, Los Al Daytime. After that win, came back and worked at Santa Anita, 59-4. And now he's just gone up to 25 claimer. I think he can handle it. I'm going to single teeing off. And then in the last race, I am going to single Delightful Laura on the outside, Hector on the grass for John Sheriffs.
Yep. Love it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Pretty cheap ticket, huh? Not bad, right?
Yeah. 16 for the pick 5, 4 for the pick 4. And I know Mike loves to play those multiple times.
Yeah.
Yes. Your ticket. Well, I'll play this one. You spent a little bit more money this time. I'll play this one twice.
Oh, good. Okay. Hey, and I have a question for Steve. You already know the answer, so you're ineligible. For Pete and Mike, I have a quiz for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Who will be announcing the races at Turf Paradise starting this coming week? Who will be the race caller there? Do either of you know?
No idea.
No, I don't.
Time's up.
Oh, I don't. Who is? I think it's a fellow from the fellow that was calling the races back east. That
Vic
what's his-
Stauffer.
yeah, Rick Stauffer, right?
Vic.
That's right. I heard that. Yeah.
Vic Stauffer, otherwise known as the goof on the roof. He used to call himself. Yes, Vic Stauffer is going to be calling at Turf Paradise. How awesome is that? It's so nice to see him back.
Yeah, he's a good caller. He was good when he was at Hollywood and back in the day. Yeah, I like Vic. That add a little bit of moxie to Turf Paradise. We'll see how their racing goes over there in Arizona. We're going to talk about that in a bit too, about California racing, and after we go to Pete. Pete, do you have any picks for us, or what do you got going there?
Well, I'm not really much of a pick 5 player, to be honest with you. I'm more. I just like to zero in on 1 or 2 races, but I can give you the first 5 what I like.
Sure.
In the first race, I like the 2 and the 3. I'd single the 2 horse in the second race. In the third race, I would use the 2 and the 3. I would buy the 4th race.
Yeah.
And in the 5th race, I would single the 8.
Hey, not too far off.
Wow. Good minds think alike.
So I don't know what that costs. You guys know better than I do, but those are the horses. If my horse is either going to win or not going to be around. So I think he wins that race today, to be honest with you.
Wow.
I tell you what, for $1, that is $16 for 50 cents. So
For $1
a couple times, right? Yeah.
For $1 or for 50 cents?
For 50
what
cents,
happens.
16. Yeah.
Same as mine. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Excellent.
So if we combine mine and Pete's, it's probably going to be about 48. That's not bad.
Not bad.
No.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Okay. Well, cool. All right, Pete. Well, I did introduce you. I'll do my picks a little later. I'm doing a Churchill thing, and it's hit and miss. I mean, they're taking things off the turf. It's muddy, so I want to take a look at it while we're talking about other stuff on my phone to see if some of my horses scratched again. So, Pete, you are the owner and breeder up there at Legacy Ranch. Tell us about your operation, Pete.
Well, we're a 145 acre ranch up there. We have a 5/8 mile training track. Terry Knight runs my operation up there, and he not only manages but trains our horses. We have about 300, a little over 300 horses up there right now, and we have five. I think it's five stallions that we stand now. We have Clubhouse Ride. We purchased Forbidden Kingdom. That's owned by Legacy Ranch. That's a American Pharaoh horse. We have Straight Fire, Ohm, Tamarando, and that's it. And we're probably close to 30, 40 mares booked to most of those horses. So we should have a pretty healthy run this breeding season. So, help California as much as we can. Harris closing down their stallion barn. So we ended up with Ohm and Tamarando, plus all of their stock. So we're pretty well filled up right now.
Bet you are. I bet you are. So I guess maybe that leads us a little bit into the state of California racing. What do you think it's going to take, Pete, to get us around the bend here and try to improve things here in California?
Well, that's a very, very good question, Steve. And like everybody has said, we're kind of an island by ourselves out here. We have no slots or any way of generating any revenue other than what we do through our handle, and that's that's difficult because we're competing against racetracks on the East Coast that have gaming and instant racing machines and stuff. So it's very, very difficult. Our horse population breeding next year is probably going to be in the 900s, which has gone from, years back was 5,000. Last year was 1,200. Now it's going to be 900, 950. But here's the one thing that people in California need to understand, that we're mandated that the Calbred program produces about $15 million, and we have to give that money away in breeding awards and stallion awards. So even though the quantity of horses are coming down, the dollar amount is still there. So that means that if you are lucky and you get a horse in California that can run, you've got a pretty good chance of getting, I think right now we're looking at almost 25% over and above what you make at on the racetrack. So that breeding program is very lucrative. And we at Legacy Ranch, I mean, we're all in. We're breeding and we're staying in the game. Two reasons. We love the racing, and the other thing is I think that horses that are going to go to the sale, good horses, are going to bring a premium because there's not going to be enough of them, and there's a lot of trainers out there that need good horses, and they can't afford to buy those $1 million horses in Kentucky and run against the Baffords and the McCarthy's and those. So California, there's an opportunity here, and we're going to try to do everything we can to see if we can come up with something that makes some sense. So I think California is going to be okay. Obviously, the big thing is Santa Anita, what's going to happen with Santa Anita. But I think we're good. In my opinion, I think we're going to be good for the next, 5 or 10 years. I'm gambling on that. If that doesn't happen, then we'd have to change our program around, and there probably won't be much in California. So then we have to decide what we're going to do, so.
Sure. Yeah.
That's about all I can give you.
You're right, Pete, on that. I see what you're saying. There's aside from the gaming money that they have at the casinos and the racinos they call them, they've got all that money feeding into it. But they also other states, Florida and New York, Kentucky, those circuits have feeder tracks, and we lost our feeder tracks with the Golden Gate going down, the fair circuit gone. And, when as we all know, if you've got a horse that can run at Santa Anita, great. If you had a horse maybe that couldn't run at Santa Anita, you sent him up to Golden Gate or Bay Meadows or wherever it was. You'd send him to the fair circuits, you'd run him at Fairplex. You do all those sort of things, and then Los Alamitos nighttime racing, thoroughbreds. You try to put your horse where it makes sense. But now the only place to do it in the state is Los Alamitos at night. And that's a tough road.
Right. And the other thing too that you have to understand or need to appreciate that, Calbreds make up 40-50% of our racing. And if something happens to that Calbred program for whatever reason, I think racing in California would have a very difficult time because we can't race, 2 days a week. I mean, that just doesn't work. And I think the racetracks need to understand how important that inventory is and how important the Calbred program is to racing as a whole. So we just have to support that program.
Yeah.
And if we don't, then it's going to be some very, very difficult decisions made down the road, 2 or 3 years from now. Here's the other issue. Whatever happens this year, whatever decisions the powers to be make, whether it's racing, breeding, whatever, it affects us 3 years down the road. Because racing and breeding is not like a facility where you can, you're punching out widgets. It takes you 3 years to get that horse to get to the racetrack if everything goes right. So we have to make decisions today and project where are we going to be 3 years from now. And if we don't start doing something to at least stop the decline in the breeding population, then we're going to be in trouble because we need to get that 900 back up to 1,000, back up to 1,200 if we can. And there's people out there that need to understand that, whether we support the farms, to support the states, whatever the decisions that need to be made soon before we get too far down the road and say it's too late. We can't save it. So I think we're at the crossroads, if you want, in my opinion, in the racing industry. And Santa Anita, Del Mar, they all have to come together and say, what are we going to do to keep these farms alive? We're losing farms too,
Yeah.
Sure.
It's very expensive to run a farm these days.
Yeah. And they had,
Hey, Pete,
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, I had a question. I'm really interested in stuff like this. So what is the best in all the years you've been breeding and, you've had a lot of success? What is the best horse you ever bred?
Well, the best horse that I ever owned was a horse called His Legacy. I didn't breed it. I bought it back in 1981 or 82, something like that. I bought it off of Jerry Fanning, was a 2-year-old. I paid $40,000 for that horse. That horse won 15 races, made almost $500,000. It's probably the best horse that I've ever. It's my favorite. I wish I had another one just like it. He passed away, and we cremated him, and he's laying up at Legacy Ranch in a spot up there with Griswold and Apprehend.
Oh, yeah.
So we have a little plot up there. Those are Griswold, Apprehend, and Meridoc. Those were quarter horses, but His Legacy was a thoroughbred. So that's really my favorite horse. we bred big, let's see, I don't know, I can't really tell you what is I've just bought more horses and been successful on that end than I have on the breeding side. If you really want to know the truth, that's how tough this. We've had a lot of horses that have won stake horses. We won grade 2s, grade 3s, but we've never really had what you call the big horse. You know, the grade. I've never won a grade 1. Won a couple grade 2s. We had a horse called Toneless Shape that we bought with Nick Casado, won a couple stakes back east. We sold that horse for $700,000, and she ended up being she was a filly, so she ended up in the mare shed. So we've had some success, but we keep trying to make our program better and better. We're taking mares to Kentucky, breeding in Kentucky stallions, bringing them back to California, and making Calbreds out of those. So we've got a lot of nice horses. We've got a bunch of horses in training right now. I've got 2 horses right now. I'll just tell you that's running Friday. I've got a horse in the, there are 2 horses. One's in the 3rd, one's in the 5th. One is a horse called Sammy Davis that we bought off of Tom Bachman, John Sadler trains. And we have another horse that we bought called Mohaven. And both of those horses are live, and I hope that they're in the undercard. They're in that $175,000 Calbred race, the Golden State race. So hopefully we got our high hopes for those 2. Hope that one of those 2 will jump up and get us the ring. So
good deal.
It's been doing this for she's 1971, so I don't know how many years that is, but I've been in the game a long time, and I've owned Legacy Ranch since 1987. So I've paid my dues, and I just hope that the next 10 years, the good Lord's looking out for us, and hope the racing gods shine upon us to get a few horses in the circle.
Sure.
Well, you know what, Pete? I think you're going to get that big horse within the next. I mean, something special is going to happen. I can just feel that. So something really special is going to happen over those next, 10 years.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, I can only tell you one thing. There's nobody trying any harder than Terry Knight and our staff up there. We've got 35, 37 people that work up there, Gallup boys, and everybody is trying so hard. His wife, Drew, runs our office. She's fabulous. That no is not an answer. So we've got the right people, and we're paying a lot of money for a lot of horses. We've got a chance. We got a shot. Now we just, like anything else, just got to get lucky. But one thing they can't fault us for is that we haven't tried. We're a very quality. Legacy Ranch is a lot of pride. We pay our bills. We don't hurt anybody. I just enjoy the game so much. It's given me, for the last 50, 60 years, I met so many great people in this industry. And if I can give back to the industry, that's what I would like to do. And that's why I stepped up, and I own a piece of all the off tracks here. Fairplex and Lake Forest, Marco, Victorville. So I stepped in and put all that together with Armin. Armin passed away, but I'm still involved in the off track. And I did it, to be honest with you, I did it so that Pomona wouldn't go away, and we have a place to do our sales for our Calbred sales, which is in we have a big one coming up in January, and we just had one in September. So I wanted to make sure we had a place to have a sale, and that has worked out very well for the industry. My way of giving back to the industry. So,
and we
that's
appreciate
my story.
Yeah, we appreciate the Derby room, because now it's pretty close to us. So we go to the one in Norco. Unfortunately, we got to sit near Twinkie, but that's another story for another time.
Right. Well, they closed down. Sammy's is closing in another couple days, so they're out.
That's
So
what I
I don't
heard.
know, we either got to go down south or you got to go to either Norco or Los Alamitos, whatever,
Wow.
depending on where you live. So we got
Yeah,
a nice facility. I was there Saturday and Sunday and it was great.
yeah. Yeah, Sammy's is great. I mean, Mike, Sammy's was an old Black Angus steakhouse
Ah,
before they turned it into OTB, and they do on weekends they'll have bands and stuff like that. And Charisse and I, what we used to do, our favorite thing was when I was off on Sundays, we'd go down there Sunday morning, watch football in one room. We kind of have a table where we could see the both sports. We could watch football and we could watch horse racing and bet on horse racing and have
oh,
have breakfast. They served a full meal of breakfast down there, so that's kind of cool. But then now, like Pete mentions, he's part owner of the Derby Rooms and all this other stuff, and so we go up to the Derby Room in Norco, and they've got wonderful food, and they got all the same stuff there, and it's not too far away from us. So yeah, good to go. Good to
yeah,
go.
yeah,
But
exciting.
so Pete, I got to ask you, you mentioned we talked a little bit about it before you got on here about your horse up there. That it was one of the legacy horse, right? Was that one your first win that you had with a horse? Or remember you told me that story about the that guy Tim Ducey was the jockey?
Oh, well, no, that wasn't the first horse, but that was one of our it turned out to be one of our best horses that we've had. That like I was saying, that horse was purchased as a 2-year-old from Jerry Fanning, and I gave that horse to David Hoffman, the late David Hoffman, which
Sure.
trained for me for over 40 years, 45
Yeah,
years, and I miss him so much. So sorry to hear about that situation. But
I agree.
back then, it was hard. We were trying to get this horse at a race at Santa Anita, and back then, if you remember, you'd have those stars, and it would take. It was so hard to get a horse in. We tried and tried, and Dave finally said to me, he said, "Listen, I can't hide this horse anymore." He said, "This horse is ready to run." He said, "There's a race up at Bay Meadows. Why don't we send it up there?" A maiden allowance race. So we put it on a van and sent it up to Fort El Fierce. And I went up there with Sean, who was my ranch manager and trainer at the time. And of course, we got there and the track was pouring down rain. And so anyway, I wanted to just make sure that the horse could handle the track. So Sean got on it the next morning and we kind of just galloped him around there, just a light breeze, and he came back and he said, "Hey, this horse loves this racetrack." He said, if it's not the racetrack, not going to be the problem." So anyway, we're entered. It's on a Saturday. The horse has got the 12 hole. So first, I'm going to bet on this horse. I've been waiting a long time. I'm going to make a nice wager on this horse. So we go to the track, and the first click on the board, the horse is 50-1. He was 12 on the line. First click, they bet some horse off the board. There was some big favorite in the race. So I'm down at we're getting ready to saddle, and Tim Ducey's the jock. And I said to Tim, Tim, don't shit. God damn it.
Can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Yep, you're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I lost you. Anyway, so Tim, I go down. I was on the we're in the paddock, and I'm getting ready to saddle, and he looked up there, and I said, "Tim," I said, "don't worry about this 50-1 shot. 50-1." I said, "This horse is live and he can really run." I said, "I'm going to bet 200 to win and 200 to place for you." He said, "Great." So we get in the race, and I said, "Listen, this horse, just pop him out of there." And I said, "You'll probably be close to the lead, and hopefully you'll be in front at the finish line." So the horse, we get in the gate. The horse is now 15-1, 14-1. We get in the gate. We pop out of the gate, and he's in front by 2 or 3. Coming around the turn, he's in front by 5, 6. And coming down the stretch, he's in front by 6, 7 lengths. And this kid is whipping and driving and got the whip going, and he wins by 10 lengths. we're getting ready. So we go down. We're unsaddling, get our picture taken, and we're unsaddling. I grab Tim and I hand him the ticket, and I said, Tim, I said, you're in front by 6, 7 lengths. I said, you're whipping and driving on this horse. I said, what was that all about? He said, well, he said, in case somebody was coming on the outside and I couldn't hear him, I wanted to save the place money. Did I lose you? Yeah.
Kid.
But anyway, that that was my Tim Ducey story, and that started the whole thing off, and it was a great score for me, and it just it was just I was like that was probably the most exciting, most memorable race that I had. And the worst race that I ever had, if you want to know real quick, the worst race, the most devastating race I ever had is when we got beat at Santa Anita with our quarter horse, our Griswold. We got beat by Valiant Pete in a match race. That was that was discouraging. Got beat a neck at Santa Anita. First time a quarter horse ever set foot on a racetrack at Santa Anita. So.
Oh, I remember
Wow.
looking at Pete. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the highs. Those are the highs and lows. And let me tell you, really, I don't know how much time we have, but I'll tell you a quick story. So, when we're training this horse at Santa Anita, and Patrick Valenzuela came up to me and said, "Hey, Pete, let me ride this horse for you. I'll win this race for you." And I said, Pat, I said, there's nothing that I wouldn't. I think you're absolutely right. You're the best gate guy I've ever seen. But I said, I've got to live with these people at Los Alamitos. And if I take Kip off, I said, I don't know how in the world I'll ever be able to raise my head down there. So I said, as much as I'd love to, I can't do it. So anyway, we get beat, right? We take the horse home. We give him 3 or 4 months because he just ran his heart out. And then we gave him some time. We come back. We're in a stake race at Los Alamitos, and Kip takes off to ride a Swaneveld horse. And I told him, I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, I said, I've done everything I can for you. I said, I had a chance to take you off this horse to put Patrick on, and I stayed with you because of the loyalty. And the first time you have a chance to ride this horse, you're going to jump off and ride a Blaine Swaneveld horse. I said, good luck to you. I said, it'll be the last time you ride a horse for me. And of course, we beat him in that race, and it was actually a joyful event. But ever since then, I said, there really not much loyalty when it comes to jocks anymore. So that was a lesson well learned.
Mm-hmm. I guess Respoli found out that he got taken off of journalism.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, that's a tough call. I mean, it really is. I'm not sure what he did wrong, but I don't own it. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of loyalty in the business, that's for sure, but, especially this, when you're talking about Breeders' Cup or you're talking about the big days, Kentucky Derby, just like we're seeing the mounts today. I mean, all those jockeys that used to get mounts are not getting mounts because they've got Velasquez and Rosario want to get a feel for the track. So they're riding anything they can today. Right. So, but I get it. I mean, it's the old thing. If you can get a Flavian Pratt or something, you get them. It's tough to bump somebody off. But I think there is a lot of karma when it comes to that.
Huge.
Yeah, I believe that too. Pete, I wanted to ask you one more question, if you don't mind. And it has to do with sovereignty getting sick and spiking a temperature. And, in your estimation, you've been around a lot of horses. How often does something like that happen in a horse? And according to Bill Mott, the horse was still in the feed tub eating and all that kind of stuff. Is that rare?
Well, I think what happens a lot of times when you ship horses, sometimes that will spike a fever or there's something going on in their system. But to be honest with you, um, when a horse does have a fever and you only have 4 or 5 days to recover, the chances of that horse running to his peak performance, in my opinion, is slim and none. And I think you're better
Wow.
off with a horse like that to be cautious, because if they do run and you for some reason, if there's something else going on or whatever, and you knock him out, then you could knock him out for a long time. So it's just one of those things. It's just part of racing luck. That's what makes this game so hard. You spend all that time and energy and whatever, and then 2 days or 3 days before the big race, something happens. So it's a tough game, and you've got to have a lot of patience in this game. And if you don't, then then you're in trouble. So I think they did
Yeah.
I think they did the right move with the horse. I think it's better to protect the horse, to be honest with you. If it was
Thank
my
you.
horse, that's what I would have done.
Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Good deal.
Absolutely.
Well, we did you have one more question to ask, Mike? Your normal question you like to ask, or did we already get answer that one?
Yeah. Well, I didn't, so Pete, this is a question, another question. And I know you just met me. I'm asking all these questions, but
No, go
I
ahead.
really do appreciate your time. Yeah, I appreciate your time, and I've learned a lot, today listening to you. So appreciate that. But what is the listeners like to hear? What is the biggest score you've ever had in terms of wagering on a horse?
I can tell you that off when you hang up, but I can't tell you that.
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
Okay.
Then how about the other question, Mike? You could probably tell the other question.
Yeah. Well, what is the worst bad beat you've ever had
I told you the quarter
on
horse
a
that
wager?
got
Oh,
beat.
that one? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
All
the
right.
quarter horse
Oh, okay.
the Valiant Pete that beat us at Santa Anita. I still, to be honest, how many years? Since 1980 or 91 or 80, whatever it was. It's been, I never forget about it. It's the worst feeling that I've ever
Wow.
had at a racetrack, because I thought we would win that race from here to, by 5 lengths. I didn't, but you've got to take your hat off to John Sadler, because he took a horse, Valiant Pete, and he broke that horse out of the gate, and he did whatever when we broke out of the gate and we were head and head with Valiant Pete, I said to myself, oh geez, here we go. I never thought in 100 years that we would be, I thought we'd be at least 2 lengths in front and they would never catch us. So you have to take your hat off to John Sadler's, I think, in my opinion, one of the great trainers that can get a horse out of the gate. And he proved it. And so, of all the races that I've lost, that was the toughest one.
And how ironic that it's your namesake on the horse that beat you, Valiant Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valiant Pete, right? And then the other thing, we went to Los Alamitos and we ran in a stake race with Valiant Pete, and we beat him twice down there.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Not when you wanted to.
I couldn't beat him at San. Well, the problem was this. This was the problem. I had Bob Marino and Tom Knutz were the people who put this together. When we first put it together, we were going to run 870 yards.
Mm-hmm.
And then they said we're going to go a half mile from a standing start. Then they moved it back from a standing start to a running start. And we were supposed to have equal weights, 120 pounds. He had 120, we had 122. So, I mean, they did everything they could to put the pendulum in Valiant Pete's favor. And I was just, I just really, to be honest, it was my fault, because I just went along with it because I just thought we were a slam dunk and we just couldn't get beat. But looking back on it, I should have, I should have just said, hey, if your guys are going to do that, we're not going to run, and let them go back to if we'd have run at a standing start, or we'd have gone 870 yards, like we would have won the race. We only got beat in neck. And we only got beat at the last, 10 yards. I mean, it's an incredible race. They went down there in 43 and change or something. Yeah. So anyway, his legacy was my biggest score that I ever made, and that back in the 80s, and Griswold was the worst beat that I've taken since I've been in the game.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing all that, Pete. And I've got in the notes section, we're going to have links to where to breed a horse with Legacy Ranch. We're going to give you their website and all that information. And like Pete said, if you're thinking of getting in the game, this is a great way to get in the game. I mean, it does pay to own a Calbred, like they always say. And the races are very lucrative. Like Pete says, it could be 25% more of the purse, and whenever you look at the past performances, you'll see that on the top of California, the Calbred Breeders Fund. So Legacy Ranch is in the game, and they're here to stay. So let's give Pete some support there too. Also in the notes, I'm going to give out my I've got a Churchill Downs late pick 4. And it's muddy as heck. And I'm going to look at it when I go offline here and make sure none of the ones I give out scratch, because the ones I liked, I already had about 6 of them in that pick 4 sequence that scratch. But anyway, that will do it for this week's A Kiss for Luck with Pete Parrella of Legacy Ranch. And like we always do when we sign off, the Kiss for Luck sign off, which is like the old dating game, where we blow a kiss. So here we go.
Hey, well, thank you very much, Mike. It was nice chatting with you, and good luck racing. And Steve and Charisse, thank you so much for reaching out to me. That was very nice of you. Appreciate that very much. And good luck to your racing.
Absolutely. And we'll see you soon, Pete.
Okay, take care.